Eli Wallach, who's a great guy and great actor and big part of film history. He was the second actor to play in this role. The first actor was a friend of mine named Adolph Caesar, who was the star of Soldier Story. I think he was nominated for an Oscar. And Adolph, on the first day of shooting, was in his motorhome, had a heart attack, and died on the set. And we had to recast within a day. And luckily, Eli Wallach was available and wanted to work with Kirk and Burt, so it happened very quickly. But originally it was Adolph. You people at home, I don't know if that's interesting to you or not. Adolph was also a very good softball player. He was on my softball team in New York.
He also did a lot of. He had a great voice.
A lot of great. Yeah, well, that's how I knew him, from voiceovers.
Yeah.
Did all the black exploitation movies for
the
me.
Trailers and
Yes.
Dawn of the
All
Dead.
right, this
trailer.
is one of the first times. I think this was actually fiction at the time. The car speaks.
Right. That
That
must
was-
have been a
that-
brand new thing in 1985 or whenever you shot this.
It was, but it wouldn't. This car didn't have that. It was just that. It was just that cars were starting to dabble in stuff
Yeah.
like that. And seatbelts too. I don't think that they weren't very prevalent back then either.
the shoulder belts.
Yeah. Yes, that stuff like that isn't real. That amuses me. Okay, Charles Durning.
Great Charles Durning.
He was great. I've worked with him a couple of times. The original idea was to get somebody older from the same era as Kirk and Burt. So we had Ernest Borgnine, and Ernest wanted to do it, and for some reason Jeff Katzenberg was in love with Charles Durning. So they had an interesting way of negotiating all these things. If it was somebody I wanted, they would say his price is too high. If it was somebody the studio wanted, they'd say money is no object. So in this case, Ernest Borgnine wanted much less than Charles Durning, but they chose Charles because Katzenberg loved him, and I'm glad because he was great.
Look, it's Dog Day Afternoon. He was good as
Dog-
a cop. So.
Yeah,
Either one of them would have been great, really.
yeah. But no, I can't see it with anybody else now. He had great energy and he was
Yeah.
great. This is in an actual bank that was no longer functioning, but it looks great. And these guys have so much charisma that I watch this scene and I know that they could pretty much whatever happens in this scene is staged and fake, but these guys could have beaten up two young bandits easily.
You actually contacted Cook to join us, didn't you?
Yeah, you
Well,
actually.
yeah, no, but he's not in shape to
Oh,
do
not
it.
sure.
No,
Okay.
not at night,
No,
particularly.
not enough.
And it's amazing. Kirk Douglas is still with us at the time of this recording.
Yeah, it was his 100th birthday, December 9th.
Wow.
And we had a party, and it was
As of March, what is today? 2017. Kirk Douglas is still alive.
he's still alive, and he's still lucid, and he just doesn't work out anymore.
Can he speak? Can he still talk?
Yeah, I mean, he had a stroke many years ago, and
Yeah.
in fact, he can still talk, not quite as well as he did when we made this movie, because
Sure.
he was fine. But what I often never realize, because I see him still pretty often, is that every word that comes out of his mouth is like doing push-ups. It's an effort to form the words, to get the sound out, to control your lips and your tongue and your mouth. And it's exhausting for him to speak and for any length of time. This actor is a guy named Larry Mintz, and he was funny. I think he might do stand-up as well. They had fun making this movie. Although the day that we shot this scene, I have a photograph of myself from this day sitting on one of the chairs over against the wall in between them, and I look like I'm in agony because working with Kirk and Burt, I had to balance my attention. Like you couldn't pay too much attention to one or too much attention to the other, or they would start feeling like I was favoring one over the other.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, I knew Kirk and had done a film with Kirk already, so Bert assumed that I was kind of Kirk's boy. So he was always watching me and checking out to see if I was being unfair. But in fact, I mean, I idolized both of them, so I wanted it to be a real pas de deux. This is the scene this was the audition scene that Dana used.
And this is probably the only film that I could think of that Dana Carvey played a serious role in. I might be wrong, but I don't know.
No, because he went right from here. The next 6 months later, he was on Saturday Night Live, and after that, he was known for comedy. But he did do some TV series where he was sort of a straight boy next door kind of guy.
Oh, huh. This is before Saturday Night Live, so he was just a young, struggling actor.
Yeah, he was just an actor. In fact, I went to see him do stand-up at a place called the Ice House in West L.A.
Was it
And
Fairfax?
he still hadn't started on Saturday Night Live.
I think it's Fairfax, isn't it? Ice House?
No, it's over by, kind of by Centinela.
Oh, Sentinel.
Was this film a big hit when it came out? Did it make a lot of money? I can't remember.
Well, a lot of money.
Or it did okay?
It did well enough that Kirk and Bert, who had deferred salaries, did get their deferred numbers, which I think back then the numbers were so different. But I think
Yeah.
they got $1 million apiece for doing this movie, which now sounds like nothing. I mean, now
Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis gets more than that, but not that nothing against him because I like him, but yeah, the film did okay, and.
I saw it with my grandmother. I mean, this is a film that really appealed to the older
I'm sure,
generations.
I'm sure it did, because I think they did some market research and realized that Kirk and Bert didn't really mean as much as Disney was hoping, because the demographic was so different.
Yeah,
Older people were staying home and watching TV at this point.
yeah. Should also mention that you did a documentary about Kirk Douglas,
No,
didn't you?
no,
There's one on IMDb. It's remembering before I remember or something. No, you didn't do one?
no, I didn't.
Really? You're credited on the IMDb as there's something called.
I did
before-
It wasn't it wasn't a documentary. It was a live one-man show.
Oh, okay. Well, it's incorrectly labeled as documentary. That
Well, I know why, because we filmed it and that came out as a DVD after the show, so they call it a documentary. I guess it is. It's his life story. This guy plays the banjo with George Segal, or used to, and he might have been on Mary Hartman or something. This actor.
Graham Jarvis?
It's
Graham
funny.
Jarvis?
I'm sorry.
Graham Jarvis? Is that
Yes.
his name? Yeah.
Graham Jarvis.
Yes.
He's Canadian.
Graham
yeah.
Jarvis. Yeah.
Okay, so Dana or Richie is getting berated for idolizing these guys. And this is a scene just to show how these guys have sort of an instinct for not being penned in anymore and not living by the rules.
Now this cop was way out of line here.
Yeah. Well, when you're writing the script, we have to come up with a series of humiliations which finally
Sure.
drive them back to going back to what they do best, a life of crime. So every few pages there was a humiliation. And this was a one-take thing, right? What you're about to see, the bird shit scene. And I think it may be something we came up with on the spot. There you go. People like that. Always got to laugh in the theaters. And just that little smirk on Bert's face was perfect. All right, this is a scene. There was a bar. I don't think it was called Mickey's, but we called it Mickey's because that was what it was in the script. And it had been the old hangout where Kirk and Harry and Archie used to spend time when they were at their peak. And now Kirk is coming in and not quite realizing that everybody in there is a guy.
King
And I don't know if this might be considered a politically incorrect scene. I'm not sure.
Yeah, now I guess maybe.
It was another opportunity to use smoke and make it look good, so I was happy about that. Oh, and see, now he's ordering a light beer because he's heard about it. He doesn't know what and if I'm not, I don't know if he actually says the line, it tastes like piss, but that's kind of what he said when we shot it. Oh,
Oh, tastes like. Oh, so you
Yeah.
didn't use that one.
I didn't use the piss take.
Disney.
This guy's a nice actor, and he's also, I think I first met him in a voiceover loop group, so I hired him for this.
This film came right after. Was it Revenge of the Nerds, or had you done something else?
I did Gotcha before this.
Gotcha. All right, that's right. That also played in Westwood. I was at the same theater, I think, when this opened.
Probably did. Gotcha was a very
That was a
great experience for me. It wasn't a successful movie. It was not successful at all, but it had a pretty decent life in video.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. People love that film.
There, the boys are all dancing. I don't know if there is a dressed shirt and tie dance bar anywhere in L.A., but we had one. Now, the next scene, Kirk walks out, kind of shaken up by what he's just experienced. Can't believe it. And here comes Bert, and Kirk stops Bert from going in. So we're angling towards Kirk over Bert's shoulder. And Bert had the sense, this is not in this take, but Bert had the sense that Kirk was being favored. So he kept trying to, just below the lens, turn Kirk around so that it would be more of a 50-50 shot and less an over the shoulder. And during one take, I hear Kirk say, "Get your fucking hands off me, Bert. I know what you're trying to do." Eli could not see through those glasses, but it was part of the fun. And that probably wasn't him doing this stunt.
He lived a long life. I think it was 90-something.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. I don't know when did he finally pass away?
Pretty recently, I
Years
think.
ago.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago? Yeah.
He's really funny in this.
Okay.
I mean, he brings that New York.
This is a
sensibility.
real street. We didn't dress this street. We just found it.
The obligatory boombox
Yeah, of
shot,
course.
which is in every '80s movie.
Yes. And it's got Janet Jackson.
Right. Yeah.
And I guess her song wasn't that expensive at the time, or Disney wouldn't have gone for it. But now we have, for some reason, the two little guys auditioned as actors, and the other guys were all extras, the bigger guys.
It's a weird gang. There's white,
Yeah.
black, and one Chinese, isn't it? Yeah. Well, half Chinese, I guess. But
Yeah.
it's
that
kinda
was
strange.
it was pre-racial.
Yeah. Can't pick on one race. We're just lumping
The blacks and whites, they worked together
Yeah.
back then.
This guy's name was Corey. I remember. He's good.
Yeah, I wonder what this song would cost now to use.
Yeah, probably be prohibitive. But you ain't getting any older. This, I think, was the direct steal from Butch and Sundance, the rules of the fight.
Ah,
Yeah,
Still got it.
yeah. That was it. William Goldman, I think, wrote Butch and Sundance. We have to send him $7.50 for stealing that bit.
really?
No, not really. And that was to show how they aged, that his fist hurt from punching the guy. That never happened before. Things have changed, the theme of the movie. Now we're at the Golden Sunset Retirement Home where Kirk's going to become a resident, and Bert and they're not allowed to see each other anymore for 3 years.
What street is this? Do you remember?
Somewhere about halfway downtown. I don't really remember.
Sure, none of these places are there anymore.
But we did it. Just luckily, we found an old age home across the street from a bar, which is exactly what we needed. This scene, I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time, and I'm talking, but I used to get choked up watching this scene. This was James
Newton Howard. Yeah.
It might have been. It was either his. It was maybe his second movie.
Yeah, it was early on.
Yeah.
Well, he was
He was in the band that did
Saturday Night Live. He did music for Saturday Night Live. And
that I don't recall. I don't think-
before he started features.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I thought that was Howard Shore, but maybe it was. But anyway,
Oh, but you might be right.
yeah,
You might be right about
James
that.
was in the book in a band called Toe. They did the song Rosanna. Toto
Oh,
okay.
I think Rosanna
Yeah.
Arquette
was his wife
or something.
Yeah, yeah.
No. Actually, the girl. Okay, no, I'm getting all mixed up. The girl from Android was married to James Newton Howard. I forget her name.
No, it was Rosanna Arquette when we did this.
Was it?
Yeah.
Then he.
This was sort of a foreshadowing of what was going to happen to all of us, including me, which is you get to the point where they tell you you're too old for this gig.
He's so good. Who's that actor on the left there?
Don't know. I don't know.
Can't
I mean,
remember.
he auditioned. He was good. He got the part.
Uh-huh.
I actually don't remember his name. Okay, that's a real place.
Mhm.
I think I don't know if it was non-functioning or functioning
Gilmore,
as a kind
that's
of
downtown,
a flop
right?
house. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we didn't have to really decorate it at all. It was just perfect as it was, except for the smoke. And this
pretty
this
heavy,
guy
this
behind
one.
the counter is Ernie. He did the voice for one of the characters in Lion King, I believe.
Oh, really?
He was good.
Yeah, you liked smoke.
Yeah, well, back then it was the way to make movies look more arty, and it worked well with the anamorphic lenses.
Sure.
People live here and die here. They're getting a dead body out.
Yeah. Ernie Sabella, that's his name. And we have Star Search in the background on the TV. Ed McMahon, I don't know how we got that. Maybe we paid a little for it. I think that scene was different, and then when we saw the axe that happened to be on the wall, we changed it so that it would reflect the location. Okay, so now we're in the same place that we shot, the old age home, and it was an opportunity for me to use a friend of mine, Body by Jake, or Jake Steinfeld.
Right, sure. Does every celebrity.
But I thought he did a good job playing a kind of slightly sadistic attendant in this place.
Now, was this interior here the way it was when you shot? I mean, all the colors, everything?
Yeah, I don't think we did too much to it. I mean, no, we didn't wallpaper it or anything like that. Spinach souffle. I couldn't eat that to this day. Oh, yeah. I think this is sort of a homage to the movie Brute Force. prison movie that Burt did. And this is in an actual place. It was in the valley, but there was a chain of these. I don't know if they still exist. Penguin's Yogurt.
Oh, yeah. I actually do remember.
So now we have this little spoiled kid,
Yeah.
Scott. I remember his name was Scott. And the idea is, of course, that Kirk has to suffer the indignity of serving him, and the kid's driving him crazy. But at the end, Kirk gets to do something, and I can tell you that he did it in one take, and he really enjoyed it.
The kid is great.
And Kirk loved wearing a stupid hat. You know, just the more humiliating, the better. I don't know.
So
It's,
this
a little,
was
it's a little over the top in terms of torture, but it's a movie.
and this is the actual Penguins store
Yeah.
in the valley. You say?
Yeah, somewhere around maybe Northridge or somewhere.
Huh. Where did you find the kid? Do you remember?
Casting director,
Yeah.
he was good. He's probably done a lot of. I have to laugh, and we only had to do it once.
But that was really his hands because you had
Oh yeah, yeah.
a single shot on him.
Yeah, no,
Oops.
it was really his sense. No, he wanted to do it. He didn't. We could have had someone else do it. When Burt does his Burt Lancaster thing, it almost seems like he's self-parodying, but it's just he's got that delivery down so, and even to the gritting of the teeth.
This actress here.
Alexis Smith, she was pretty successful in the 40s,
Yeah.
and early 50s, and we saw a lot of people for this part. Actually, we saw Debbie Reynolds, we saw I think an actress named Ruth Roman who was living down in New Mexico. Bunch of people, but she was great.
Of course, Kirk Douglas gets Darlene Flugel.
Darlene Flugel, yeah. Well, that was he owes me for that because we for that part also for the Sky, the part of Kirk's girlfriend who works in, I guess it's coming up right after this in a workout place, and we had let's see who auditioned for that. Fran Drescher,
Wow.
Jennifer Tilly, Sting's wife. Bunch of people, and I saw Darlene in probably the movie with Billy Crystal,
Live and Die in L.A.? No.
No.
Running Scared.
Running Scared. Yeah,
Running
and
Scared, yeah.
I thought she was great. She had also done Live and Die in L.A., and her agents didn't want her to do this, and I don't know why. I guess they thought the part was too small, or I don't know. And so she came in and she read, and I really liked her. And then they wouldn't. I offered it to her, and they wouldn't let her do it. So we went through the whole process of casting other people, and I kept thinking, I really want Darlene. I really want Darlene. And finally, I think I called her directly, and I said, look, I want you to do this part, but your agents don't want you to do it. I won't say the agent's name because he might still be powerful, but she fired him and did the part.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Is this a real gym?
Yes.
Or is this
It's a real place.
wow. I mean, it's very 80s.
Well, it was the 80s.